All right, peace to the family. All right, we're gonna get it going here real quick. Hopefully, we get somebody in. Get a couple people in. I just got the notification. So, people, if you're out there watching, go ahead and leave your comments, leave your questions. We're gonna answer them live on air. Don't forget to share the stream to your family and friends, and we're gonna go ahead and get it going. CJ, you want to kick it off, or you want me to kick it off?
It don't matter.
All right. Let me go ahead and kick it off real fast because I got myself queued up. All right. So my name is Brandon B. Dixon, MLS 1541210. It's at Being That Loan Officer on all social media. So please go ahead, like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, so on and so forth. You can go to my YouTube. We're trying to get 5,000 subscribers before this summer. So please like, subscribe, so on and so forth. At Being That Loan Officer on the YouTube. We have two programs on YouTube. The House Tour Lux, we're gonna have a live broker open house tomorrow, so I'm gonna be out there. We're gonna tour the property, and then we have the Behind the Sauce. So we're gonna look for that. Not just the real estate business, it's my dog business, and so on and so forth. So just giving y'all some sauce on the makings of a multi-billionaire. So go to www.applywithb.com if you want to book myself for a consultation, or you want to go ahead and get a mortgage going. Go to that website right there. Also, you can call me 832-775-8357. You can call me 24/7. And last but not least, go to my website, www.clcinvestmentclub.com, if you want to go ahead and join our investment club. So, CJ, I got you queued up here.
All right. What's up, everybody? CJ with Greenwood Realty Group. Follow me, hit me up on social media at CJ Sales Texas at CJSELLSTX. And go to my website, check that out, greenwoodrealtytx.com. Whether you're an interested buyer, seller, or agent, we have information on there for everybody. So go over there and have any questions, hit me up at greenwoodrealtytx.com. We got everything on there for you.
Do me a favor, turn the gain up on that mic. It's just super duper low. There we go. Yeah, there we go.
All right. Check out the YouTube channel, CJ the Realtor, where we're doing several things. So we have our Home Tours Lux edition. We got some of our local business on the highlights. Got some shorts on there. We got some other game, good information. So go on there, subscribe, share it, give me a like, let me know what you think, comment, all that good stuff. Then lastly, of course, we give back our mentorship program, the Mansa Academy. The website is themansaacademy.org, where we are working with our young men, teaching them knowledge of self, self-improvement, and entrepreneurship.
All right, Barry B.
All right, this is Barry Bolston, real estate agent here. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in property in Houston or surrounding areas, give me a call, or you can come to my website, homesbybarryb.com. I'm on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. I'm on TikTok, Twitter, X, all of those. If you just go in to Google and do hashtag Homes by Barry B, you'll get a hold of it, showing my age. You can give me a call at 832-786-1270.
Got you guys. Patrick, I got you queued up.
Yeah, I'm still getting over that pound. Third, I am a man of finance. I'm a financial planner. We tackle all of those areas that folks need help with: retirement planning, investment planning, tax planning, legacy, and estate. Check me out. That's our website, www.chevalierwealth.com. We add some value-added content each week. I do a weekly market update. Right, this week was the S&P hit 5,000 for the first time. So you definitely want to check that out to see what's going on in the markets this past week and what's to come this week. In addition to that, I actually do a portfolio themes. It's really brief, 2 minutes or less, but I actually share based on the real facts and figures opportunities in the marketplace, and we update those each week as well.
All right. So let's go ahead and get it started, man. The premise for this show, it's gonna be twofold. First of all, if y'all hadn't been following the news and following the market, the CPI reports hit today, and it came out red hot. They thought it was gonna dip down. Inflation was at 3.4. And we're gonna play the video. It wound up being, they thought it was gonna be 2.7 or so. They thought it was gonna, dip it down, but it actually came out higher than expected. So the cuts are probably gonna push back. Probably thought it was gonna be May, probably gonna be June, July at this point. So what does that mean? The market kind of went crazy today. Rates jumped like something I could have locked in yesterday jumped about a little bit over 0.5 point today. So I know I was trying to lock somebody in from yesterday's rates. It jumped up on me. So it cost, a lot of money. So it's probably going to flow back down the next week or two. But that's what's going on right now. So let's jump into I want to do a couple of educational videos first. I want to talk about inflation before I get into the meat of inflation. So we're going to watch a couple of these cartoon videos. They're like 30 seconds long, a minute long. We're gonna react to them, and then I want to show you how it relates to the CPI report and all that stuff. But let's break down the basics of inflation. See if y'all agree with this. And I'm glad we got our financial advisor on here, so we could get the thumbs up or thumbs down on what if he agrees with this. So let's kick it off right here. Can y'all see the screen?
Not yet.
No.
There we go. Is that it?
Yeah.
People use metal coins for money instead of paper. And coins made sense because a coin contained precious metal that people found valuable, like gold or silver. Think of it as $1 worth of gold being melted into a dollar coin.
Yeah, sounds good to me. What's the problem?
The problem is that the Roman government decided to make more coins without actually finding more gold. They were turning the same amount of gold into even more coins.
How do you make money out of money?
Exactly the right question.
We need more coins than we have gold for. Shave off pieces of these coins and melt them down with other metals.
But if there's less gold in the coins, won't that make them worth less?
We don't pay you to ask questions.
This seems like cheating.
That's because it is, and governments do it all the time.
I understand now. When you cheat to create new money, you make everyone else's money worth less. Look how much lighter it is.
Exactly. When the money becomes worth less, you need to use more money to buy the same things. That's called inflation.
All right. So taking an elementary look at the thing. What do y'all I'll go ahead and open it up. What do y'all think about it?
What was it? Nixon, that during Nixon's era, the gold standard was like they got rid of it during his presidency back then. And we just
I think that was during Nixon, yeah.
Yeah, so we've been doing that for a minute.
Right. Did I'll let everybody chime in. What y'all think?
Yeah, I think they hit it right on the nose in regard to how it works. I think that's actually how it happened, back in Greece or Rome or wherever they were back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's exactly right. And basically, the Federal Reserve, they manipulate the money supply, right, and cause that inflation to go up or down. And so yeah, so that video hit it right on the nose.
Gotcha. Barry, you want to get in on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the basic premise of it is that it takes more to get. I mean, it takes more money to get the same amount that you did in the past.
With the same amount of goods.
Yeah, so for the same amount of goods, now it's going to cost you more money.
Right.
Now, I guess one thing that I always would get into is like those service of goods. Are they, how is this? Are they just raising or creating this money? Because it seems like sometimes the government is just printing money that we don't really.
Right.
Man.
That was
I mean,
that was
shit, look at the stimulus check. The stimulus check during COVID. Where's all this magical money coming from that we're sending outside of the U.S. to other countries?
right.
Like, where's it coming from?
Right.
Billions of dollars.
Well, basically, the premise in a nutshell of the video was that it used to be $1 for $1 gold. Gold coin is a $1 gold. Now they just start making other metals out of it and taking money and stretching it out. You know, they water whipping it. You know, they stepping on it. You know,
Hey,
so
the money hella stepped on right now.
yeah, stepped on. So you know, think about it, they print the money, so it's really fiat currency. So, and then so that makes the goods, because as the money goes down in value, that make the cost of goods go up in, you know, as far as the value stays the same, but it costs more for the same thing because the currency is worth less. You know, because it's not backed by anything. You know,
so just put that together because in a minute it's gonna be worthless.
Right. So, and that's why I want to. I got a series of videos, so I just want to I got about 3 of these. I want to kind of collect the thoughts. We're gonna get to a point on this real quick, but this is kind of leads to the next one. She kind of elaborates on what I mean as far as the goods and services. Y'all see this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Every single day? Is this happening because of inflation?
It is. In the early 2000s, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe increased the money supply, causing hyperinflation. Right now, one United States dollar is worth about 1 trillion Zimbabwe dollars.
I have 10 selling corn dogs. Take it and you'll be rich.
That won't get me very far when a loaf of bread costs 5 trillion.
$5 trillion for a loaf of bread? It had better taste amazing.
I understand that it sounds like a lot, and the government knows it. That's why they're printing it as a quick fix, but it only makes things worse in the long run.
Inflation hurts a nation.
Yes, thank you, Milton. Inflation makes the poor people poorer. By the time the new printed money gets to the poor population, the prices are already so high, the money can hardly pay for anything.
Would you take 3 trillion American dollars? It's the only cash I have.
Prices of food go up every day.
Every single day?
So that kind of breaks it down as far as on the goods and services. So y'all want to chime in on that?
I have a question.
Hey, we're just talking about how eggs was $10.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We seeing it live, and you know we seeing it live in effect. But we're gonna get to that. Go ahead, run it.
Now I was gonna have a question for Patrick. What's the purpose of them printing or making more coins or more money?
Typically, so the world is pretty much, and when I say the world, you know, every major country has a Federal Reserve. It may be a different name, but it's all in place, right? And what they do is they try to keep some type of balance or equilibrium where the money supply is in line where supply and demand meet on an efficient frontier, right? And so I know that was a mouthful, but what they do is they'll buy back or they'll sell bonds like they do with the Treasury to bring money out of the money supply, or they'll do like what CJ talked about, stimulus checks, certain kind of bills, and they'll actually print and create more money, right, to infuse the economy if they feel like it needs a lift of more dollars. And so they pretty much, it's a manipulation tactic, and it's something that they're able to do since, you know, kind of like we said on that last video, you know, it's not really tied to anything of value, right, other than what you put on it. So they do that. They do that to keep the country from going like that Zimbabwe video, or going into deflationary, which is bad as well.
Right. So basically, it's all funny money. It's all monopoly money. So they add more money in the economy to keep you going, to get you doing something. But in the long term, like you said, it hurts the economy because now once you do get the money, you can't buy all the stuff that you thought you could buy. You know, like you said, $10 eggs, and you know, where did I go the other day? You know, and I got like a salad with no meat, $20. you know. So it's I don't know if you remember, you can get a case of those waters just a few short years ago for $2, $1.99, $2.99, now they $6.99, $7.99, $9.99.
Man, dog, before the pandemic, because I used to get the gallon jug of water, 99 cents.
99 cents. Yep.
Man, they're $1.40 now.
Right.
And this one even a year ago.
Exactly.
And that's a 50% increase.
Right.
Bro,
so we're witnessing hyperinflation right before our eyes. We're sitting here witnessing and nobody's saying nothing about it. That's why I got to do this show. Hold on. I got a couple more videos on this premise, and then we're going.
Man, it's a clip. I can't show it because we might have kids watch. But Patrice O'Neal, a comedian, was talk like he broke inflation down, and it was funny, but it was so true.
Right.
Because it was like everybody's going up. It's like, why you going up? You don't have a reason to. It's like, what, I'm gonna be a sucker? Everybody else going up. I'm going up too.
Right.
And I think that's really the point that I was thinking is that some of these are just raising price just because.
Yeah.
Right. And that was my. In the fourth quarter, a lot of companies made a lot of money, well beyond expectations. Right.
Yeah.
Prices were going up. Right. After the pandemic, so on and so forth. Folks were raising their prices because their cost of goods were going up, right? But then they left them where they were as the cost of goods came down, and all these companies have record profits now, right? And so that's what you see when you turn on CNN or MSNBC, and our representatives have these folks in front of them like, hey, what's going on with your prices, right? Because they know what they're doing as well. So some folks do take advantage of the system.
Yeah. I mean, yes, a lot of that is just greed.
Oh yeah, because think about it too. Because he made the company, it was like back then sneakers was $40. Then they shot it to like $100, and everybody had a fit about it. Then they dropped it to $60, and everybody's like, "Oh, whew, it's still $20 more." They shocked you with the high number to get you comfortable with the higher number. That's crazy.
Right. Let's run this next one.
I've got a trick that'll help me crush this game. Up, down, down, left, right, B8, and start!
Contra code.
Infinite money glitch!
No, Corinne's copying the rubies!
Since the money isn't hard to create anymore, the rubies are losing their value!
She's making herself richer, while making everyone else poorer. When money's easy to make, society begins to break.
This is just like the tickets at the carnival. Did you learn nothing? I've learned nothing!
Just like the government printing trillions of dollars in the real world. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. Just like the government printing trillions of dollars in the real world.
We have to find hard money to use instead, and we need to do it fast.
Moneycraft, you're about to get Bitcoin. Finally! Hit it, Derek! What? You knew where this Bitcoin mine was the whole time? If I gave you all the answers, that would make you into real-life losers.
So that was double loaded.
That contra code though.
Right. That was kind of double loaded. They kind of tapped into cryptocurrency, and they kind of tapped into something that I want to talk about as well. Is like they said something when society, when making money is easy, society, it's the degradation of society. I'm paraphrasing, So, and as you can see, there's people making millions of dollars off of playing video games. You got people making millions of dollars off of selling. We were talking about earlier, selling Jordans. So if everybody's a millionaire, what happens then? I'll let Patrick chime on that. If they're making 1,000 new millionaires a month, what's the statistic?
I'm not sure.
Right, but there's more millionaires than ever before right now.
Oh yes, I think they said that during COVID.
Right. So what happens when that happens? what happens to the money?
The value.
I
of it
actually,
goes up.
I think it's a good thing, right? I think a lot of that has to do with just the world that we live in and the access to opportunity that wasn't available to folks, 15 years, 20 years ago, before the internet. So I definitely think it's a good thing because it was always the haves, which were just a few folks, and then the have-nots. But us adding more millionaires into the mix is kind of filling in that middle zone, right, between the folks who have and the folks who have not. So I definitely think that's a good thing.
Would
From that perspective.
would widen the gap?
I don't think
Would you
so.
say that? Okay. So you disagree with me? I think I have a different theory. I'll say it now, and then I'll let y'all chime in. I think if everybody can't be rich. If everybody got $1 million, that means it's no longer $1 million no more.
True.
So the next step is going to be Kanye made $20 million off of yesterday off a commercial, or the day before yesterday on a commercial. So that was unheard of before. They only had a few quote unquote black billionaires. Now there's a handful now. A few dozen. Just that quick. So what's the next trillionaires? So and then what's after that? We looking at the Zimbabwe thing where a loaf of bread costs $5 trillion. So I think it's if it's too easy and everybody can get in the ball game, it's going to be. If it's too easy to make money, I think the money's going to become worthless real soon. That's my.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on? We're taking them to school. But y'all want. That was my last cartoon one, and I want to get into your boy. What's a mortgage clip, and then we go talk about solutions on this.
I want to touch on that video with a couple things. They made really good points, right? I think one at the end, when all the rubies were going down, the value for everybody, they said, "Hey, since you're printing more money, we're going to introduce Bitcoin." Right. And press the Bitcoin button, right? And one of the reasons why, and this is just my opinion, that regulators and these world banks don't really care for Bitcoin is because they cannot manipulate, right, the value and create more or less, which is what they do with the regular currency. So I think that was something that was really cool in the video that they touched on.
Right. And that's the thing about Bitcoin is that it's only going to be X amount. That's what makes Bitcoin valuable.
Right.
Because the thing is that what makes the currency worthless is they keep printing it. They can print it. There's only going to be X amount of Bitcoin. That's it. There's going to be no more Bitcoin. So that's going to make it hold its value. Because if they are, that's the difference between. People don't understand. That's the difference between the cryptocurrency. Right. A lot of different other cryptocurrencies because they keep on. All right, we got this many coins. They keep on adding coins. It waters it down.
You dilute it, yeah.
So but if they only what is it, 900? I forgot how much, 900 something thousand, 990,000 or something Bitcoins ever.
Yeah, it's a finite number.
A finite number. That way it holds its value.
Yeah,
even though it's digital.
And you have to get all big. I think you got to get like all Bitcoin on it to agree to make more. And that ain't happening.
Right. So that's where it's going. So. And like I said, the only thing what people is pushing back though too, as far as Bitcoin, is that with cash and stuff like that, you can't trace. With Bitcoin, you're gonna be able to trace everything. So everything will be traceable.
Right.
So that's why a lot of people pushing back on that. Anybody y'all want to chime in on that before I go to the next one? So all these were setups to kind of give lay a premise out for the audience. Let's go. Let's start going to the real estate side of it. Boom. Let's get into it. Oh boy, what's a mortgage, man?
It's coming out this Tuesday, and the numbers look amazing. They're expecting inflation to go from 3.4 to 2.9. Under 3%. We haven't seen inflation under 3% in forever. And they're looking for core CPI to go from 3.9 to 3.7. Remember, this is just a forecast. This is what economists are saying is what's going to happen on Tuesday. So keep your fingers crossed. As we start seeing more and more reports that inflation is coming down. We will see lower mortgage rates, hopefully sometime in the middle of 2024. Let's keep our fingers crossed. If you need interest rates to come down before you can either buy or refinance, even with a strong inflation report in the month of February, don't expect the Feds to cut rates in the month of March. There's going to be a March report before the Fed meeting as well. Even with two strong reports, remember, they got to bring inflation back down to 2%. So as they get closer, that's when we'll see rate cuts. So don't expect any March cuts. So you can either wait for rates to pull back to buy or buy now with a permanent buy down. For those who can't wait, here is the nationwide average mortgage interest rates. Remember, these rates are just a ballpark. Give your lender a call so you can get an accurate quote. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think inflation is going to come in at 2.9% or will it come in higher? Let me know down below.
And it actually came in higher, but that's not the point of the video. You know what I mean? So I'll go ahead, open it up, let y'all chime in on that.
About what did he say? I mean,
well, he was saying like if it the actual CPI reports come in at 2.9, which is close. They wanted to go to 2 before they start cutting, but you know, if they go ahead drop down under 3%, it's a good sign that they're going to make the cuts at the middle of the year. So which is everybody predicting May. So they didn't. So now we're looking at June, July before we actually make some cuts, hopefully. And they got another one that come into March. So
have the rates been going up?
The rates have been staying where they are, but they were going down a little bit in December and January. Now they shot back up today because the report came back in adverse than what we thought it was going to be. So inflation is still on.
They were flat last week, and they probably shot up today based on the CPI, missing that estimate.
Right, exactly. So
because you guys, I'm not sure what y'all follow. I look at it every day as a 10-year U.S. Treasury note. That gives me an idea of which way rates are going.
Right. So I'll go ahead and open that up to y'all.
But does the Fed usually raise or lower this quickly after the report comes in?
Well, no, it was supposed to be in May.
Market.
So
market reaction.
that's kind of a loaded question. So the difference between people and the Fed and the markets, exactly, the markets were overly aggressive on how soon that the Fed would reduce rates, right? So those were never in line, the expectations of the market and what the Fed's been saying. And so it could have been March if the numbers came in. It came in under that 2.9, but now it's definitely going to be at least until May. But it's based on the March CPI report, so on and so forth, right? And I think what the Fed is going to do, and this is my personal opinion, they're going to hold where they are until they see that inflation dip under 3, right, under 2.9, and then they'll start to look to cut. So I was thinking it'd be March at the beginning of the year. Based on what we learned this week, it may be May, but the way things are going, it may be the third quarter this year, to be completely honest, before they even make a decision one way or the other.
Right. And I'm thinking June or July. But, you might see May, but I doubt it. Right. I think that's the whole point is inflation still not getting under control. You know, that's the whole point of this whole beginning.
Right. And one of the big sticklers is Jerome Powell, who's the Fed chair. When this happened in the U.S. in the 70s, in the late 70s, the Fed chairman at that time was criticized because he did reduce rates sooner than he should have, and the country paid a price. And so his thing is like, hey, I'm not going to make the same mistake this last guy did. And so he's been holding steady and firm in regard to his position on reducing interest rates and getting inflation under control.
Now, is he still trying to shoot for that soft landing that they've been mentioning and been talking about for forever?
In my opinion, that landing has been I don't know what word soft. It's been a good landing. Markets, you know, all the losses that happened in 2022, we've surpassed those, and we put an all-time high in the S&P 500. So people are making money, right? It's just everyday people, and the cost of goods is the burden, right? In my opinion.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
Anybody else you want to chime in on that?
They're also saying wages have gone up, so inflation's not so bad, but I don't see it. You know,
Right.
my clients are getting the same raises they got, you know, on average the last few years. You know,
This next one kind of piggybacks off of that, and then I want to do a solutions video real quick, and before we get into our last topic video, check this one out right
A
here.
house today, or should you wait and see if interest rates come down? There's really not that big of a difference. Let me show you this example. So if you're looking at a $400,000 home today, let's say you put down 10%, that's $40,000 cash. Then you get a loan out at 7% on the rest of the money. We'll put your principal and interest at $2,395, another $683 for property taxes, homeowners insurance, and PMI. Put your total payment out the door on this estimate at $3,078. Now, if you wait for rates to drop to say 6%, let's say the home prices jump up 5% if there's an increased demand. So let's say $420,000, put a 10% down payment is 42 grand, basically the same thing, but a 6% interest rate puts your principal and interest at 2,266. Let's add another 720 for property taxes, homeowners insurance, and PMI. Put your total payment at 2,980. If you really look at the difference between the two, for those of you who are waiting, it's not that big of a difference. Even if you pull this for 30 years out, you're going to end up spending $862 on the first home and $815 on the second. So if you never refinance your first home, it will be about 40, 50 grand more over a 30-year period. But for those of you who are on the edge of your seat, the thing I would focus on most is, do you like the house? Do you see yourself living in it for 10, 15 years? And are you comfortable with the payment? Should you buy a house today, or should you wait and see if interest?
Gotcha. So this is more on my side. So I'll go ahead and give Corey the right away that I'll chime in, and I'll let the realtor chime in on that. So I go ahead and give you the first op. If not, I'll chime in right fast.
Give me the first crack at it. I mean, you know, the biggest thing that he failed to mention on that one, which is a good example, is that, you know what I'm saying, you take the time that you're waiting. Essentially, people have to make a decision. What are you going to do? Are you going to renew the lease on your actual apartment, or are you going to renew the lease on your house, or are you going to wait for the market, you know what I'm saying, to pay that higher rent, you know what I'm saying, until actual interest rates drop? With nobody knowing when interest rates drops, majority of the people are going to sign that new year lease. So that's 12 more months that you're pissing away $1,500, $2,000, $2,200 down the drain. So you know what I'm saying, when you talk about that slight $20, $30, $50 difference, it's not even worth it. Go ahead and get you a house now. I mean, you know what I'm saying, stop making this whole interest rate thing bigger than what it is. The biggest thing is home ownership. That's the major thing. That's what you need to be thinking about. If you can buy a house now, get into a house now and start investing your money. Period.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that was based on it if you stayed in the house for 30 years and not and never refinance.
Right.
And I mean, in 30 years, I'm pretty sure that the rate is going to come. It's going to come
People
down for you to refinance.
Yeah, people don't realize how close these numbers are. People be trying to. I guess that we're programmed that makes you a great consumer by waiting and trying to penny pinch, but it really doesn't. Wealthy people are more decisive, and they know how to save money in other ways. In other than trying to, you can't save your way. No, don't get me wrong. I like saving as well, but when you leverage it against time, you're gonna lose. So your time is valuable. This is time that you're never going to get back. And so is the time leveraged against that, juxtaposed to that, is that worth it? And like Corey pointed out, it's really not, like I said, because you gotta live somewhere in the meantime.
Right.
And that costs. So I mean, it's very, very similar. And don't forget, like, this is CJ's favorite thing is, and we're already starting to see it right now. I had a client that went and looked at a house today. It was his first day on the market, and they had 7 showings. So you already know it's going to be a multi-offer. So it's already happening. So
that's already last year.
Right. So and it's only going to get worse when the rates drop. Then everybody in their mom will be trying to get a house at that point. And now you're going to pay more. You're going to have to come out with more out of pocket. So are you really saving anything?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
like we've been talking about this whole time, date the rate, buy the house.
Right.
You want to get in and start like building up that equity so you can make a play later. Because at this point, you can't just look at the house as somewhere to live. It's going to be an investment play later down the line and some leverage for you. You can't leverage a spot that you're renting. So that's just going to delay your progress if you, like Corey said, have to renew that lease. And you're more than likely not going to renew it for the same price, so they're going to up it on you anyway. So make your next move your best move.
So here's how much it costs to live in Bali as an American who's been here for about 2 years.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm queuing up the next clip.
Right.
Yeah,
Y'all, I think y'all
get
hitting
caught
on
up on
the
those numbers.
Yeah, go ahead, Barry B.
I was just gonna say, a lot of people just get caught up on those numbers, 6%, 7%, and they thinking that's some big gap, and it's really not.
Right. Right. I just want to say, all of y'all hit it right on the nose. The biggest thing, like Corey said, you know, when you get that mortgage, you know, instead of paying rent to someone else and providing them cash flow, yeah, you're paying your mortgage down, but that's equity to you, right? And I should have been listening to you guys and bought a house 2 or 3 years ago when I talked to you guys about it. You know, I just moved and now I'm paying rent still, right?
What did I bring up? That was the first thing I brought up. Like when we had the conversation, like,
right?
You gotta add this up.
But so that's from personal experience. But I'm gonna give it to you guys from a different point of view. Right, the work I do, I sit down with folks. I get their expenses and liabilities right when I'm creating a strategy for them. These folks, they don't mind keeping a balance on a credit card that's charging them 24, 25% every month, right?
Correct.
I see
Correct.
folks, they have the new truck, right, or the new Range Rover or whatever kind of car they like, you know, and they'll have an 8 or 9% interest rate on it, and they have no problem with it, right? Okay, so what's 6% on the house, right? That's the kind of point of view I'm looking at it. Okay, you carrying these, you got a personal loan, that one's 13%, right? You're paying these higher rates everywhere, and to me, in my opinion, 24, 25% is taking advantage of somebody. But so you wouldn't get this property for your family to live, and you grow equity in it, and something that you could pass to your heirs. You wouldn't pay 6% for that, 7% for that. Come on, man. When you line them up and you look at it on a sheet of paper, it only makes sense.
Right. And
that's
great point.
That house now, buy that house now. The interest rate environment is going to be higher for longer because we were living in free money before the pandemic, right? So they're not going to dip down, back to where they were for another 10 years, in my opinion, right? So go ahead and make that move and get you some property.
Now, when you say where they were, you talking about 3s or 4s, or you talking about 4s and 5s? Because I think we're gonna be in a 4 and 5 environment here pretty soon.
No, I'm talking about 3s and 2s.
Yeah, if we ever go 3s and 2s, you
with the
might
good
want
credit,
to take
right,
the advice of this next clip.
3s and 2s. Because the Fed from these other videos, they want to get inflation to 2%, but they also know that's not realistic.
Right.
So that's, like I said, it's going to be higher for longer.
Right. It's gonna be 4 5. I think is decent because, like you said, you just pointed out, as far as credit cards, and you'll pay everything else you would for that BMW and all that other stuff, for that Chanel purse that you can't wait for. But when it comes to the house, which is this is what I always look at as well. Wouldn't you say? And we talked about this before off camera, Patrick, as well. If inflation, look at the raw numbers. If inflation is about 3%. And your rate is about 6%, wouldn't you say that half of it is gone? It's already at 3%.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Because it's raising. Inflation is going at 3% right now, and let's say you're at 6%. Just by default, you're still at 3%. People want to be upside down as free money. That was only happened in that climate when it was national panic. That's never going to happen to me. And people, believe it or not, people were complaining. And Corey would probably be my witness. People were complaining about 2s. Well, I heard you were in the 1s. Are you serious?
Right.
So you want free money? You want to get paid to buy this house?
Right.
It was already free. There was like the Fed wasn't charging anything for money. It was free money.
Right.
Everybody wants something for nothing.
Right, like, man, did you ever get, man? I heard you was at 1.75. Where'd you hear that from?
told you that?
The birdie told you.
So you give them an inch, they gonna want a yard. So it ain't never gonna be enough. I think it's this. I think people, and we're gonna get to that like at the end of the show. People that want to do something is gonna do something. People that with all these excuses, they full of it. They're not gonna do it anyway. So you ain't
knocking on the door. I got these cheeseburgers.
Right.
Before you get the next clip, I always tell people there's always going to be a reason not to do something.
Right.
You got to focus on what it is that you want to do and what's important to you and go out there and make it happen. You can always make the numbers shake out to wherever they need to be down the road. Right.
It's going to work out anyway into your favor because, like I said, as opposed to renting, which is 100% interest anyway,
right?
You have something. Like, let's say, for example, if I would have rented these last 10 years that I've been in my house, I'm sitting on this almost $300,000 nest egg right now. So if I want to go ahead and sell my house, I can cash out and I can get a nice little chunk. But if I would have rented, I wouldn't have a pot to piss in right now.
Right.
Because it'll be all gone. You know what I'm saying? And the same amount I would spend anyway with an increase in rent. So
I'm gonna step out here. I'm gonna step out here on the ledge, you know what I'm saying, and piggyback. My bad, beef cutting y'all. I'm gonna step out here on the ledge real quick, you know what I'm saying, and piggyback off what Chevalier gotta say. In most cases, for the people that I deal with, you don't want to do what you want. You want to do what makes sense. Because everybody wants something that financially is dumb as shit. So you know what I'm saying? If you take and educate yourself and understand what makes sense, and you know what I'm saying, you invest and make that decision, it may not be what you want, but it's the best thing, it's the best decision for your situation. That's what you want to do. I just want to clarify that, you know what I'm saying? My opinion from Chevalier.
Right. Anybody else on this before I run this next clip? So this is the solution. This is one of my favorite solutions right here. If rates are too high and inflation is getting the best of you, this is the opposite. Let me show you some of this right here. This is kind of probably in my future here in the next 10 to 15. So this is what I'm looking like here shortly.
Here's how much it costs to live in Bali as an American who's been here for about 2 years. And just for reference, $100 is equal to 1.5 million Indonesian rupiah, so your money goes a long way. First up, we have rent, and for the past few months, I've spent about $500 a month, and that includes everything from utilities, housekeeping, maid service, all that shit, so you have nothing else to worry about. Next up, we have food, and while I am on a very strict diet, I still eat out for every single meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and still some way I've only managed to spend $450 this month, and I eat out a lot. Next up, we have transportation, and recently I did purchase my own bike, but when I was renting one, it would cost me about $90 a month, and then I would spend maybe an extra, I'd say $40 to $50 a month whenever I needed to go long distances, and I just decided to hire a driver. Next up, we have what I like to call my fun shit category, and this is activities like kayaking, going on yachts and shit like that, going to pottery classes, riding ATVs, beach clubs, all that shit. And I'll spend about $200 because stuff in Bali is pretty cheap and there's a lot of free shit to do. And finally, we have my miscellaneous expenses like my training at the gym, going to get dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, any work that I have to do like recording and shit like that. Visa runs, flights and all that good shit. And for this, I'd say I spend on average about $300 every single month. So over the past few months, I've averaged spending about $1,600 every single month living in Bali. So if you're planning on coming here, this is pretty much what you can expect. All right, so here's how much it costs to live in Bali.
Man, that's on a beach in paradise and eat out all the time, and it's cheaper than my mortgage and taxes in Texas.
Hey, and eating real food.
Eating real food with no chemicals and process. I don't know. That sounded like a good deal. Don't have to. I ain't gonna get stopped by a cop or something and get You know what I mean?
But that's what's going on. It's like a lot of people are relocating. When I got that international certification, people started hitting me up already.
Right, man. It sounded like a good deal to me. I mean, think about it. If you could set up your investment portfolio where you could get you $5,000 to $10,000 a month coming in off you could live like a king out there. You see that his spread, his house is live. There ain't nothing. It's not in poverty at all. He's on the beach. You know,
Yeah.
tropical weather. No, you know, man. Oh man, I mean, tell me what part of that sound bad to you guys? You know, good food, good eats. You know,
You can't beat it. I don't think I can feel the moped.
Sounds
yeah,
good.
yeah. But he said he high up a drive when he. I'm gonna have to get me, you know, some real wheels, but ain't nobody driving it. You say you can walk everywhere down there. You know, simple living, man. But think about it. This is what I
Is he
said.
retired down there?
I don't know, bro. Because like I said, I'm more simple nowadays. The stuff that you thought you wanted to accumulate all this stuff, it really don't. You don't need all this stuff. You don't need it. I think you need good food, sunlight, safety, and that's about it. You know, shelter. I don't need all that. You know what I need? I have a club right there for. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? What I need to have a Sunday night at Scott Gardner's for?
He took it back.
Yeah.
He took it back with that one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Hey,
boy.
Hey, there's no Mortons in Bali.
Yeah, you don't need more, man. You see that spread he had? He like he was out of resort. You don't need no more with that spread. I heard like you could
Right.
eat with the beverage and everything, tipping everything for $3. One adult could eat for $3 out there.
Right.
And now Bali's a little bit
Right.
further south
Right.
than Thailand, but man, it's
Yeah.
just they go to show you how inflated. I think the food that got ridiculous because we coming with all these fusions and all this stuff, and they just since it's I put truffles on the burger, so that makes it a $20 burger. I don't know if you remember back in the day, Carl Jr. had the highest burger ever, $6 burger or whatever. Now you go to any one of the food trucks burgers be $20, but it's the burger, no
Facts.
fries, no drink. Yeah,
That's
like
facts.
y'all nuts.
Something you could have put on the grill yourself.
Man,
Maybe
come on, man.
astronomical.
So
Yeah.
man, $20 for a
We've been
burger.
talking about inflation.
They ain't gonna do nothing but tease my one burger. Ain't gonna do nothing but tease my belly, man. So you got to spend 40 or 50 piece to get full.
Yeah.
Man, it's not, bro.
Just from my perspective on that, right, with the work that I do, I have quite a few Filipino clients who came here to the U.S. They worked for 20, 30 years, and they moved back to wherever it is their hometown, and they're living like kings.
Right, exactly.
Quite a few folks who I work with, they do the same thing in Mexico, right? I send them $3,000 or $4,000 a month from their investment account, and they're living like a king or queen wherever it is that they're in Mexico as well. So people definitely use that strategy, right? They build up those US dollars, and then they go to a place, Belize, right, and live on the beach or whatever it is they want to be. And one big thing, other than just the value, making your dollar stretch, a lot of people say, you know what, Patrick, the speed of life here is a whole lot slower. It's not as fast, rumble, in the jungle every day like it is in the US. And I just feel so much more peace. I've heard that from a lot of people, right? It's kind of like you were talking about, right? Once you get to a certain stage, it's like, hey, that's all I want is, smooth sailing. So those are some of the takeaways, and I've seen it. I work with people today who actually do that, and they're living their best life.
Right.
Yeah, they got that documentary talking about those blue zones for people that'll be 100 plus, and none of them are like millionaires. They're in a place where it's clean, low stress. They get exercise by walking and stuff like that, and the majority of people is like 100 plus.
I mean, the lure of the hustle and bustle, the hustle and bustle doesn't have the luster that it once had. As you think you're missing something, and once you find out you're not missing anything, So you start to value the simpler things in life, clean food that actually tastes good, not like a bunch of chemicals, natural women, no BBLs everywhere. Just, collarbones with the women with collarbones. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. You know, there's no crime. I heard in Thailand, parts of Thailand, there's like zero crime because they're all Buddhist. Stuff
Right.
like that.
Right, and the laws are so strict in certain areas too that it's just
Right.
the culture of that area is like people they just don't do it.
Right.
So yeah,
Look,
Over here,
I hear that. I hear that, but I'm saying, when it comes to the land of opportunity, I'm saying there's no better place than America, right? Tell you what I'm saying? I get it. If you want to retire and make your dollar stretch a long way, hey, look, there's plenty Honduras, I'm saying, Bali, there's plenty of places that you can go. But when it comes to actually having an opportunity to make the almighty dollar where I can support me and my family and have a good life, there was no better place than I would rather be than America. Period.
Agreed.
The opportunity to come up from something to nothing. However,
there's a reason everybody's trying to get here, legal and illegal, because there's more opportunity here, and then they send the money back to their family.
especially when California paying for sex change for illegal immigrants now. You know what I mean? So
I ain't going down that road. I ain't touching that. You by yourself on that one, B. You by yourself on that one.
My point is the immigrants getting more stipends than any,
and where's that money coming from?
Exactly. They printing the money, and where's their priorities? Are they printing money for these illegal people that hopped in here illegally? What are they trying to do?
well, it's coming from the taxes that people are paying.
Right. Right.
In California, they tax anything. They have one thing now where it's like if you move from the state and buy a house somewhere else, you still have to pay taxes like for another 2 years, like you still live there.
Right.
That's crazy.
What? Yes.
What?
How's that legal?
If you're over a certain dollar amount in your income, you got to pay for like another 2 years.
That's crazy.
So Hollywood, man, it's crazy, man. But yeah, it's just I definitely agree. Yeah, get your money here, set you up some businesses because it's easy. You can come from something. You can come from the trunk of your car. I come from the trunk of my car, and become a millionaire in the next couple of years. In America, I've heard even in Honduras there is no like credit that they give out. Like everything is cash based, right? Is that correct, Patrick? In Honduras there is no like credit system.
I'm not 100% confident on that one.
Right.
No credit.
Yes, it's
Now,
something.
you asked Pat like he from Honduras. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What's going on?
It's hard to believe that there's no credit system. No
Well,
credit
it's not
system.
like the United States where you get lines of credit. It's like you have to. It's like the equivalent. You have to have the cash.
You have to have a tangible asset as collateral
to match it.
Right.
Yeah. Not out of thin air like the United States. Out of thin air, you could come in, get your Social Security card, and get you a business loan, $10,000. Just print the money, print $10,000, $100,000 business loan. You up.
Right.
If you know the game.
Right.
So I definitely agree with you 100%. You could play the game and you could get in here and score you some buckets and then bounce. I think we get caught up in I'm hours from here. I'm gonna stay here. Like, nah, it's greener pasture, man. I'm looking at it, I'm seeing these boys out here. I think social media, you can see, like, man, I like the cost of living, And the only thing that's cheap out here is the places you don't want to be. Arkansas.
It used to be Texas. It used to be.
Yeah, it's parts of Texas, you know what I'm saying? So
used to be Texas.
So I'd rather, I'd rather be where I'm a little bit more safe. Like I said, I value safety nowadays because I got a good minute and a half on me. I ain't got no 2 minutes to tussle with nobody.
Hey, you can't even go in your place.
Go out there in the
Go out there in the
Right. So let's go ahead and run. I'm kind of switching subjects on this because I want to chime in on this. What time we got? What time we got right now? All right, cool. We make a good time. This is a subject. It's kind of also just the second topic of the day. We'll get into this Master P video, man. So let's go ahead and get into this right quick. And this is going to be our last topic.
We travel.
Can I ask you a question? Can you look up this cereal for me? $12.97 for that? This is $12.97.
Yeah, but it's out of stock.
Out of stock, huh? Okay, so you think it's some in the back?
I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. You too. He just gave me permission to go in the back, so we're going in the back, man. I'm not. Like, come on. And then $12.97? How is it? Who? What? Yo, who's buying cereal for $12.97? Are you serious? How? Come on.
Apparently, if you go into the back to look for it.
When he went in the back, now I'm in the back, and we're gonna find the cereal. Take your time, because I know it's back here. Look at it. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Stop playing with me. Look at this right here. See this right here? Cinnamon Toast. This is the same one that I saw on that phone. You telling me that it's out of stock? It's not out of stock. Here, go right here. August 11th, 2023. Somebody got to explain this. I wonder if it's more. Get the fuck. Are you serious? What? When we checked the man's phone, he looked it up. He said it was out of stock. Hello. Yo, bro, this shit is out of pocket, bro. It's no way that this man we talking about, he's like the Martin Luther King of entrepreneurship. He's teaching us, gave us the blueprint on how to be entrepreneurs, how to sell our own cereals, how to sell our own products. And they putting our products in the back, saying that it was out of stock. Never on the shelf. It's right here. I am actually in the back. And I got permission to come back here. This is where it's all at. Because there's families out here that can use these. And not for no goddamn $12 and whatever. How was it out of stock when it's right here? And it's been here since...
Was it in a bin? Yeah, I'm going to say, because they're in a bin.
So it's been here since August.
When these bin labels are here, that means it's been put into a bin and assigned to a location back here.
Right, so that's kind of like...
So we can scan it and see like that it's out here.
So why isn't it
There's
out there?
no home location, no flex location for it at all.
So it's saying out of stock on a scanner.
And I really don't know.
Why they haven't been on the shelf? Because everybody's been looking.
Yeah, like I said, there's no location given to them, so that's probably why there's a system. No location. It's not on the module.
So you're right. So y'all wouldn't know why.
Right. Since there's no physical location assigned to it, our systems will not pick it. We don't pick unless it tells us to.
Yeah, these came out in July, so they've been sitting for what? July, August, November, December, 5 months. I know what you guys saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is where before it gets hit, who's the people that puts it there so you guys can see that it's hit?
So home office takes care of all of our modular.
Okay.
Like so if it's supposed to be assigned to a mod, that needs to go.
Oh, so it's coming from okay, got you. Can I ask you a question?
That's great.
All right, so I know Patrick dip out. He don't like these inequalities videos.
No, I actually this one kind of fired me up. I worked my way through school at HEB, and so I definitely know how that works. But I'm gonna let y'all say what y'all got to say first before I chime in.
Well,
I want to understand how it worked before I say what I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? How did that happen?
Hey, enlighten us first.
Right. I got to give credit to Master P. I've been saying since 97, 98.
You're no limit soldier.
I remember when they broke the glass at the summit.
I thought I told you. No, my bad.
But no. In this case, he got screwed for lack of a better term. But I feel like just like the things I've seen from him in the music industry, where he was like, "Yeah, I went and I got Michael Jackson's attorney to figure out how this game works, and then I set myself up." I think he may have skipped a step in the process with this business that he's doing, because first, a majority of those companies, they pay for that shelf space. right? When you see those Frosted Flakes, those companies, Walmart, HEB, Kroger, and all that, they get a check for them to put those Frosted Flakes in that spot, right? But another thing on top of that, secondly, they're trying to put him out of business. That's what it tells me, right? He set up a distribution. He set up a distribution deal with this wherever store he was at, right? But for some reason or another, they're like, "Hey, we're just not going to put it on the shelf. You had to pay to manufacture these. You had to pay to ship these to us so we can put them in our store. We don't like you for whatever reason. You didn't take the time or put the paperwork in place to get this shelf space, right? And I'm good friends with the guy at Post. We've been doing business for the last 30 years. I'm not giving you any shelf space. Done deal. Money's made. That's how big business does business, right? So unfortunately, he got to take that one on the chin as a loss.
Right. So for those who don't understand what's going on, apparently customers were going. Well, let's start from the beginning. Snoop and Master P came out with a few food items, cereal, pancake mix, and syrup and stuff like that, right? And so that was the whole thing. It started getting black-owned products, and there was a big campaign. All the celebrities signed in on it, and the customers was going in and starting to look for the product. It was always out of stock, and then when it was priced extremely high. It's supposed to be priced about $4. They had it $12.97, as you can see. So they had it priced extremely high to deter everybody, and then they kept saying it's out of stock. So people start going and thinking they own and going in the back and seeing like, all right, well, let me look in the back, see if it. And they went to 8 different stores in different states and all that, and all of them they were in the back. And it's sitting right down the shelf. They've been there for months. They're sitting on the shelf. So the customers couldn't see. So Snoop was saying like all the stuff I paid to endorse is right in the front. I paid spoken, but I don't own it. Right down the front. The stuff that I own, they put in the back. It was collected dust. So that's what they were saying with it. Just I understand you can pay for shelf space, but at the same time, don't lie to the consumer saying that it's out of stock. Have it online or and have it reasonably priced. That's what he's saying. So I understand. All right, you can't make a primo spot for them. However, don't say hey, if the customers come in and ask for the demand, at least make it available to them.
Right. But if that's my department, I'm putting out the items that are going to make me money so I can get my paycheck and my bonus.
Right, no doubt. Right. But that is just a deception. Why you got this cereal $8-9 out of reach than everything else, and the suggested retail price is $3.99.
Right, and that was to my safety point. They set that all up, on that corporate level. He didn't have his agreements in place the correct way to allow them to do that, and they did it.
Right. So if you think they won't when they will, what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. So everybody want to chime in on that. So like right now, he has a class action lawsuit against Walmart. They got other clips on that. I ain't want to. If y'all want me to play, I'll play it. But anyway, he was talking about it. But I just showed you like the play up. That was one of the actual customers. Like, hey, what the hell? They got it. They got it. They had it at 8 different stores in various places, and so they kind of hulling them. They hulling them for some reason. Like you said, it's probably all the money play. Yeah, it's definitely. And Kevin O'Leary talks about it all the time. It's like, man, that's one of the most brutal spaces that you could go in food because, like you said, the big giant's gonna crush you like a cockroach. Yeah. Right. They're gonna put you out of business. Right. But think about it. We already got think about it. You don't have nobody looking in the back for Fruit Loop no more. Snoop and Matt has the influence to make you go get that product. So they
even got the fruit rounds in the bag out there. The fake Fruit Loop.
Yeah, so
the fake ones,
fruit rounds,
fruit circles. Don't forget that the influencers, especially in nowadays market, it was what make things hot. Right. So if you lose, if the influencer is the owner, I'm cutting that middleman that can't really play ball and don't have no acting skills. How is he gonna make money? You cutting him out, so you're gonna fight nail and tooth to keep his position. So somebody blocked him along the way to try to get him up out of there.
But Walmart has always been shady with companies also. I remember years ago they talked about how they pressure a lot of these companies with products to lower the price where the company wasn't even really making any money just to be in their stores.
Well, that's Amazon right now too. Amazon make more money off of my shampoo than I do.
Amazon actually has a lawsuit in place for that as well, but it's not from people; it's from the SEC.
You got a monopoly.
It's there, but on the other side of that coin, we were talking about Master P and Walmart. What about Shaq and Walmart?
Right.
Shaq never had that problem.
What problem? Was he endorsed? Was he endorsing it or did he own it?
He had the Shaq shoes and the shorts and the t-shirt.
He got the whole apparel.
I'm gonna ask you one more question. Was he endorsing it? Was he owning it?
I think he owns those. Shaq is an astute businessman. He got some good percentage.
Shaq owned everything. Shaq owned everything. You know what I'm saying?
He owns the majority of it, or he outright owns it?
Well, that part remains to be seen. All I know is, you know what I'm saying, he has his logo on the shoes, on the apparel, all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure he owns it. Now, how much percentage that he owns of it, I don't know. Because, you know what I'm saying, I don't know if he owns a certain percentage or a smaller percentage because he has somebody else dealing with the distribution, the manufacturing, and all that other stuff of it, right? Like, hey, look, you're using my name. I am going to get a percentage of it. So he owns it. But here's the thing that I want to play devil's advocate of it. And Pat brought up.
Hold that 1 second before you say that. But like Eddie Griffin said, like we can't have Master P make all the money. Master P wanted to make all the money.
I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. I think, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, which we don't know all the facts, right? But in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, Master P and Snoop Dogg are busy. They got a billion things going on all over the place. Why is it that they didn't hire a team to actually notice that? Why is it that this guy had to make a social media post to actually expose this? So to me, you know what I'm saying, your team fucked up somewhere along the line. So you know what I'm saying, we can blame Walmart all we want to, but if we don't hire the right team to do what they're supposed to do and what we're paying them to do, then who do we look at?
Right. Somebody let them down along the way. And that was
somebody let them down because the point Pat made, you know what I'm saying? The point Pat made, Shaq doesn't have a problem with this. I can walk into Walmart right now and see Shaq stuff all over the place.
Right.
Yeah, but it's
the team that you created.
No, it's the difference between sneakers and food, especially Walmart sneakers. Nobody rushing to pay for shelf space in Walmart as far as sneakers. You know,
there's a difference between.
It's a low end thing.
There's a lot of shelf space.
It's a war.
There's a lot of shelf space that they have for Walmart brands, their own brand, right? So you know what I'm saying? Shaq shoes is not out there for the cheap price that they are, unless his team is making sure that they're out there.
Right, but
so I'm not going to immediately point the finger at Walmart.
Yeah, but I think that's apples and oranges because Shaq's shoes are not the sought after brand. You know, the sought after brand we talked about is Jordan. So he tried to make it like what's your boy name number 3 where everybody can afford them. And once you get the affordable shoes, that's more of a commodity. So he's making $1. Marbury. So he took the Marbury route where he just wanted everybody to afford his shoes. And then something about with the inner city culture is like when you make them affordable, nobody wants them. You know, so
yeah, I think Shaq sold like 30 million pairs of shoes, bro. Come on,
you got to sell a whole bunch per capita.
Come on, he does. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of your opinion about his shoes, his shoes is on the shelf.
Right.
There's no bidding war for the shelf.
Contradicts his video.
No, sir.
They're not in the back.
Listen to what Pat say?
They're not in the back. They're on the shelf every time I go to Walmart. I ain't buying.
Yeah, but you're missing one point. You're missing one point. The obvious point is there is no bidding war for Lucky Boy shoes in Walmart. You can have that space, but when it's food, it's a war.
Right.
It's it's totally different.
That's a good point. But what Corey
that's a good point.
To piggyback on what I said, it made me think about Shaq. He'd been in Walmart since I was a kid.
Right.
And he hadn't faced any of these issues. So it's not like Walmart doesn't want to do business with anybody. I don't think that's the issue. I just think his business wasn't up to par, and they team saw that they could take advantage of it, right? And then people are people. So somebody probably didn't even like Master P or Snoop Dogg or whoever, and they said, okay, hey, yeah, we're gonna make this little piece of change and put them out of business. Because that's how that world works.
No, I think it's a little bit. I don't think it's as innocent as that.
That's how that world works, bro.
Yeah, I think it's.
We need to get Snoop on the show, man.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Snoop, get Snoop on
Call
the
him
show.
up, CJ. Get him on the show next week.
Yeah,
Call him up,
I
CJ.
think-
You know what I'm saying? We know you got him on speed dial. Get him on the show next week, man.
I see
I
Shaq
think-
all the time.
Long Beach, right quick to
think
the
there's
LBC.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between a $10 million, $30 million play than $100 million and a few $100 million play. When Snoop and Master P was trying to go on, they're trying to go on that triple digit play.
Correct.
And when you try to step into that arena, now you're talking you done poked some of the Bears.
Right.
And some of the Bears are like, hold up, we've been doing business with you, like Pat said, for 30 years. No way this dude coming in here off a whim and just create a company and get my shelf space. Not happening. So do what you need to do to make sure that it happens. Don't happen.
Right.
That's a great narrative, but I don't think it's true though.
No, that's what it is.
There's no way because at the end of the day, money talks. If Snoop and Master P paid to have that shelf space, you mean to tell me they wouldn't give him that shelf space?
So all right, let's talk to you in basketball terms. Let me talk to you in basketball terms. All right,
They
so
would sign a contract with Snoop and Master P just to sit their stuff in the back. It doesn't make sense.
No, sir. If there's only so many courtside seats at the Lakers game, and Jack Nicholson is there, and Snoop Dogg is there, and so Brandon B. Dixon, he's just getting on. Let me buy Snoop tickets? Snoop, go ahead and sit on the second row because Brandon B. Dixon here. I got a little bit more change than you now. That's not gonna happen. He was here first, and then Snoop gonna say, "Man, look, I've been getting these season tickets for these courtside tickets for the last 10 years. This how you gonna do me?" So I'm gonna cut other things.
That's a terrible example.
You just go to Snoop and say, "I'll pay you this much."
The example,
I bet he'll sell them to you.
That's a terrible example.
You gonna sell your season tickets?
No, the example that you're supposed to use is that they sold B season tickets to sit courtside, and they were just like, "Man, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, we took your money, you know what I'm saying, but Snoop had these things first. We're gonna let Snoop sit here."
Right.
But they got your money. That's the example that we're using.
I wouldn't say example. That. I think it's more like I think that was more.
They pay money. If they sit right up there, they pay money for that space.
It's a mix of all of that. It's a mix of all of it. But
I think Pat was more on the nose. I think he didn't research and know that he had to pay money to get in those spots. And I thought he
didn't have to pay money.
I think he didn't realize this was a different ball game.
He let them do that to him. He didn't check all his boxes.
He didn't check all the boxes. I think Pat right on the nose. He set up shop. All right, I got the distribution deal. Can I get in Walmart? All right, cool. All right, but they failed to mention like, all right, you ain't getting no shelf space.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we'll hold it for you.
Yeah, because if he had a contract, to be on the shelf, there's nothing they can do about that.
They're gonna make it to the shelf. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think he just
no way they have it. But you know what I'm saying? So that goes back to his team, right? His team fucked up. That's what that boils back to.
I agree with that.
Those were the first 2 points I made.
Right.
The other thing too about the bias though is that a lot of people aren't aware of is those own brands like those Special Oats or Super Loops, whatever CJ was talking about. It's typically the same company that makes the Frosted Flakes.
Yeah,
they put it in that company's bag. So they do have a strong relationship with whoever that is.
What's that? General Mills probably got about 30 different cereals.
Right. It's all in the same manufacturer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like a lot of people don't own, like Sony makes the blank DVDs. So they own the record company on one label and they make the blank CDs on the other side. So they're making money on both ends. You know what I mean? So,
who's still getting blank CDs?
But I'm just saying.
That's classic. That's nice.
Andrew don't know what you're talking about, B. That's before its time.
Before it's time, yeah. So.
Like CDs? Oh no, man! I used to have to make my mixes, and I had my permanent marker.
Come on now, and then you mark it up. Yeah,
right.
That's a good old day.
Right. So, but I think it's more of what Patrick said, and I think he
I feel
understands
bad.
it's play for play.
I mean, I root for him. I root for everybody to win. I feel bad for him.
But I do twist it. One other thing, I don't think it's as innocent. I think they knew, like, that's, you know, because they marked it up for $12 because that's like the extra little, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
so,
what they're trying to put him out of business, man.
Right. Like, man, make sure you mark this shit up, and then after a year, you see there ain't no profits, you're gonna eventually get out of it because this is our space.
Right.
You know, because I was met with the same.
Even if it was on the shelf for $13, come on, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They made it so he couldn't compete. So they thinking like he was asleep at the wheel, which he most likely was.
You know, this reminds me of something local. Have y'all ever heard of 1187 Water? That's a black-owned water.
That's the
company
Walmart water, huh?
out of Alabama. Yeah, they used to be in HEBs, and I would go to HEB looking for it, and they were on the shelf, but they were in the back behind other products. I mean, you literally had to go in there and fish out, and now they're not in HEBs anymore. And that kind of thing reminds me of it.
I don't know about that, B. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I can pull one out right now.
At HEB?
Yes, sir.
Really?
I'll put one on the video right now.
The one that's out here, they not over there. They not over there.
For me, the takeaway is big business has been done like that for years. It happened in banking, it happened in the railroads, it happened with farming equipment. That's just how business goes when you on that level, right? They're gonna run you out of there if they can, and unfortunately, he let them get over on him.
Right, and the same thing happened with me with my video store.
Black or anything like that. That's how business goes.
This is
doing them now, so we'll see how that turns out.
This is what I want to say before I pivot, and we'll go to the last little statement before we get up out of here. Even when I opened my video store, this is what was said about the competition. What I've heard from people with the competition, they said when he was on the streets, he was no threat. Now that he has a store, he's a threat.
Right.
So when you get to their level, they feel that you're a threat, so they feel threatened. So they're gonna do what they need to do to try to derail your progress. But my point, this is the last thing I'm gonna open it up to, and before we get out of here, is that all right, what's the solution? What do you think the solution is? We need to not only control the distribution, we need black-owned supermarkets. I mean, we need to control the retail outlets too, or what do you think?
Yes.
Get better teams to take care of business.
Walmart ran everybody out of business, so they're not going anywhere.
They ain't going. Black-owned supermarkets ain't gonna happen, huh?
Nope.
I mean, we got one.
We got a black-owned supermarket out here on the north side. Come holler at us.
Yeah, it's a black-owned supermarket out here too.
It's a black-owned. They was on the news and everything. A black-owned supermarket out here on the north side.
Right. But that's the problem, convenience. That's why Walmart got licked. They got Walmart right there. Walmart go wait 5 hours, hour there, hour back. You see what I'm saying?
Yourself, B. What?
I phrased it as a question. What do you think? Is the solution? You think we need black-owned supermarkets? I said, what do you think? I didn't pose the question. I just put it out there. I'm not supporting it either way to go. So, I mean, what do y'all think is the solution to not get blackballed like that?
You gotta have all your ducks in a row, and unfortunately, you gotta know where the game that you're playing. Everybody who went from good to great had some shortfalls along the way, right? That don't mean that they can't learn from this and do better, right? But that's just how the game goes. So you definitely got to have your ducks in a row and know what game you're playing.
Know what game you're playing. Keep a close eye on it.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, you could say the same thing about Kanye with the fashion thing. He started figuring it out, and you see him with the Super Bowl commercial.
Right. You say it took him zero to film it, pay $7 million for the slot, and made $19 million in one day. It was a quick flip.
And I took a look at that site. It was just like 6 shirts and 6 pairs of pants on there, and that was it.
Right.
I think he had some shoes on there.
It was so plain and bland. But whatever he did, it worked. And that's the thing
for like $20.
about the first topic that you had when you're talking about millionaires. It's just the world we live in today, man. There's an access to a lot of opportunity. You just got to find that niche and make it happen for yourself.
Right. Right. Anybody else want to have anything else to add before we roll up out of there?
Here's the thing, you know what I'm saying? Can you go to a what's the name of the cereal that Master P and Snoop Dogg have? What's the name
called,
of it? Do you know the name of it?
It's called Brow. I think it's Snoop last name Browers Distribution or something like that. It's like, you know,
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, please do.
Again?
But the question I pose is, can you go online and order directly from them?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because what happens is that, you know what I'm saying, if you're making a big fuss about Walmart and having shelf space and that type of thing, while you're going through that debate, whatever it is, whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, how do you keep this business afloat? If you have people that want to support you, they're going to do whatever it takes to support you. Do you have direct access to get this cereal to them? Hey, go to this website, order the cereal, we'll send it directly to you. Therefore, we have no middleman in order to kind of to support us and support our business.
Right.
Everything when it comes to getting inside a store is a bonus. It's not the lifeblood of our business. That's where we make a mistake.
Good point. Yeah, good point.
It's the same thing as Dame Dash. Dame Dash is like, look, man, I kept getting blackballed because nobody wanted to do this. So I'm going directly to the consumer. He created his own network. He created his own ecosystem because he like, look, if I can't go through y'all in order to get to the people, I'm going directly to the people. So are we going to complain and make excuses, or are we going to make resolutions to increase the bottom line? Period.
And just like old boy, dude that's got the shoes, Saya, same thing.
Right.
Got
With that being said, I gotta do one more motivation on the way out, man, for this week, man.
I think Tyler Perry did that as well in regard to his movies and theater, right?
Fact.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm all for direct to consumer. I think they were just trying to groundbreak and put us, you know, next to Aunt Jemima, have Uncle Ben next to Master P, and you know, stuff that we see on a daily basis as opposed to going on the computer to it. Like why? I think he was trying to make a point to why they got to dominate. Why they? All right, when this change gonna come? Like, you know, is it always gonna be where they got to dominate all the shelf space? So I think that's what he was trying to challenge. But here goes the motivation.
Everybody don't want to wait for it to come in the mail.
Right, exactly. I won't buy it at the local shop.
To do unique things in order to expect unique results, and that's just life. And so I'm always like, as a leader, how do I wear that responsibility? How do I create that? How do I create an atmosphere where that happens? I gotta be vulnerable. I gotta be open. I gotta be open to intimacy. I gotta help these dudes with every aspect of their life, football and otherwise. I gotta let them see me, my successes, my failures, everything. Like that's the only way.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Right.
That's what it is. You better be willing to do unique things in order to expect unique results. And
we're gonna end on that note, man. You gotta do unique things, man. If you want to get some unique results, man, you get out what you put in, man. So with that being said, man, y'all have a great work week, man. We're gonna get it in.
All right.
Peace.